3 years ago, I was living in that apartment right there. 3rd floor, leaky windows, cockroaches, the worst. I had $14 in my bank account. But just last week, I paid off my very first Subaru Impreza, and I own my own house in Nebraska. You might say that's wild. How did you get there? But that's not even the wildest part. The wildest part is that the way I went from there to where I am standing right now, all I had to do was work from home, make my own hours, and be my own boss. And you can do it too. If you have access to a computer and also internet access, you could be making up to $20K a month, working just a couple hours a day. All you have to do is work on these spreadsheets. I learned this strategy from Dorian Smiles, but I put a little twist on it. When I was starting out, I'd spend 6 to 8 hours a day just moving these symbols back and forth between the two spreadsheets. But now, I can get that work done in half the time. And every 15th of the month, I get wired between $10,000 and $20,000 straight into my bank account. And where's that money coming from? I don't 100% know. Like, I called my bank. I waited like the whole 15th, and as soon as the money came in, I called my bank and was like, hey, where did that money get transferred in from? And the guy was like, it's from you. Like, he said that it was like I was transferring money from an account I have with a different bank into this one, but I just have the one bank account. And I told that to the guy, and he was like, Mr. Gilbert, we literally just spoke, and it's your money, and you put it into your... And like, that didn't make sense to me until I remembered that I'm my own boss. If you had told me 3 years ago that I'd become so successful I could own not one, but 2 mandolins, I'd say you're lying. And honestly, I still can't believe it's true. But ever since I signed up with Dorian Smiles' program, he just sent over the spreadsheets and I got to work right away. But what am I working on? Like, seriously, what the fuck am I doing? Right? Like, I just moved the same lines back and forth between these two spreadsheets, and like, I can't figure out how that's adding value to anything. And yet I keep getting paid by someone who apparently has my name and my voice, and like, I'm trying to figure out what happened. I've messaged Dorian, but he hasn't responded, right? Since he sent over the spreadsheets, it's been empty. It's been silent. And like, sure, you know what? Fuck, I get paid ridiculous amounts of money for 2 hours of work a day, but like, I'm spending the other 22 hours just thinking about the spreadsheets, and I can't figure out why that. Like, I don't sleep anymore, right? I don't sleep anymore. I just. 3 years ago, I was living in that apartment right there. Think about the... And you just need a computer and internet access. But as I mentioned previously, I put a little twist on Dorian Smiles' program. You see, you can work from home anywhere. But I specifically bought a house in Center, Nebraska because it's close to where Dorian lives. He had to give me his address for like tax purposes, and I wanted to meet the guy in real life. But the snag is that the address hasn't existed since 1888. Like, there's records of a building being there, but it got condemned because of an enormous blizzard. It's just woods now. But like, I gotta try to find it. It's the only lead I have. And I need to meet the man who came up with this incredible program that can earn you up to $20,000 a month with just a few hours of work a day. But that's not even the wildest part. The wildest part is that you can do this while working from home, making your own hours, and being your own boss. And you can do that too, but that's not even the wildest part. The wildest part is that you can do this while working from home, making your own hours, and being your own boss. Hey, and you can do that too, but that's not even the wildest part. The wildest part is that you can do this while working from home, making your own hours, and being your own boss. And you can use that to, but that's not wild as soccer. The wild is that you can do from home, make your own source, and be boss. You can do that too. It's easy. I get paid $10,000 to $20,000 a month while I work from home. And you can too. Why don't you join me? Why don't you join me? Why don't you join me? Why don't you